Hey everybody, how's it going? We're gonna change gears a little bit here, and we're gonna go back to this Hallicrafters S-20R. The cabinet is just about done. We're gonna be putting this in the cabinet, and I'll show you what that looks like. But I have a little problem here. You'll hear the radios playing. Sounds great. But the wafer switch in here, this is connected. This is the band switch. It's in position A right now, and of course it's playing broadcast band. If I change it to broadcast B, or to band B, I get all kinds of sparking going in there, which tells me I probably have carbon traces in there. I've tried some QD cleaner, and I've tried deoxit. Not doing it. So I have to think about what I'm going to do here. That's really hard to get out of there. I would have to remove the shaft that goes through there, desolder all those connections, and clean it and put it back in. A lot of work. So I have to think about how I'm going to resolve that. I mean, I could show you really quickly, but you know what sparks look like. That's exactly what I get as sparks. So I'm not going to do that because I don't want to damage it any further. But it's only when I change it out of position A and go to position B, C, or D is when it flames out. So I'm going to see if I can take a look at the schematic and understand what's common to B, C, and D. Obviously, that's going to be where my problem is because it sparks out at those three positions, and take it from there. But otherwise, the radio is working really well. It's a nice radio.
Differently than that in retirement.
Sounds good. It's got a good sound to it. So before I put it in the cabinet, we're going to try to resolve that problem. So that's the gist of it. What's going on here? If you remember this, we did all the recaps, right? Resistors, caps, the whole bit. So it's been waiting for the cabinet to be completed, which again is just about done. It's in the curing stage. So another day or two, I'll be ready to pop this thing in. But I'm not going to pop it in until I solve this problem, because I don't want to put it in the cabinet knowing that it's going to cause sparks if someone turns the dial. That wouldn't be the right way to restore a radio, would it? So that's going to be what I work on here today, and I'll come back and let you know where we land. Be back. Alright, well, we still have the sparking. I did clean this. Anybody want a bird? I did clean this with alcohol. We still have the sparking, so I've carefully removed this. I've carefully removed some of the wires. And what I'm doing here is with a toothbrush, soft toothbrush, I'm basically putting some 90% alcohol on here, and I'm just going in here and cleaning those traces off. And I'm hoping that the issue is about carbon, carbon traces, which are just shorting out. And I'm hoping this fixes it. To get this entire mechanism out, it's a real pain in the ass. There's 3 or 4 wires on the bottom that are soldered. I can't imagine what I'd be able to do that without taking this whole piece out, which I really don't want to do. So we're gonna go this route and see if we can clean this up, get some of that carbon out of there, and see if it works. So I'll come back and let you know. Okay, our problem is fixed. The wire that comes from the tuning cap in through the bottom had way too much solder on it, so I cleaned that up with some solder wick, reattached the wire, and the sparking is gone. So basically we were just kind of shorting out that tuning cap in the not in the A band, but in B, C, and D. So now I can switch bands like so, and you can see I'm picking up some type of transmission here. I don't have the right antenna, but it's working well. We'll go back to the broadcast band.
With
Sounds
all
great.
the stock buyback that with this new tax reform bill that has given this false positive.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna put this back where it needs to be, and this radio is ready to go. I'll be back. All right, we're gonna give this radio one last look over before we put it back in the case. So we've got our speaker attached here. Let me show you that for a second. Right here, we've got our speaker attached to these wires, and I put Molex connectors on them so you can get that out of the case easy. In the original radio, it was just hardwired, and then I've got my my pilot bulbs here. Let's turn it on. See what happens. I've got my dials back on here. You probably can't see them too well because we're looking top down. We're on the band A, which is kilocycles. I'm gonna let these tubes warm up. And this is the center section of the tuning cap. That's the one that was arcing underneath, by the way. This radio does take a little bit to warm up. I have to find a good antenna for this thing. It has a BNC connector on it. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do from an antenna perspective. You can hear it trying to pull in a station. I just don't have a good antenna. I have this loop antenna. Let's see if that helps. That's on the B band. Okay, right now it's connected to a long wire. Let's see if we can pull in something. I think I hear a little VFO in there. No, I'm not picking anything up. C band is quiet. So I'm picking up something in the megacycle range, it looks like. Let's go back to the radio. There it is.
In just a moment. News you need from the most trusted source in Jacksonville. Local, national, breaking, all in one place. Download the WOKV app.
Okay, we're in good shape here. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do from an antenna perspective. I do not have an antenna for a ham radio or shortwave radio in the yard. I do have probably about a 20-foot piece of wire, which is probably not good. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do there, but this radio sounds good. It's got a great tone also. It also has tone sections here on the on-off switch.
And fellowship with friends and colleagues you don't want to miss. Call or reserve your seat or table today at 354-4162 or log on to clarawhitemission.org.
All right. So that's going to be it for the radio part of this. What we'll do in the next video is we'll put it inside the metal case. I'll show you how that came out, and we'll be able to put this on the shelf and use it. So that's the story. So we fixed it. That's good. A little patience, and then once we get this thing back in the case and all done, I'm going to go back to my Crossley 124, the bane of my existence. But we'll get it. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.